Welcome everyone to this NatSpec Tech Ability webinar on Tobii Dynavox communication. I'm Neil Harbeck and we're joined today with Alice Langley, who's the training manager from Tobii Dynavox. So she'll be taking us through for the next half hour or so and talking all about Tobii Dynavox and the kind of communication packages we've got. And next week as well, we've got another webinar. Tobii been kind enough to do that. So that'll be more focused on independence and that side of things. So hand over to you, Alice. Thanks for joining us today.
No problem. Thank you. So thanks for having me, Neil. I really appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And hopefully you guys can see this. So yeah, thanks for joining us today. Just a bit of an introduction for those that maybe haven't met me before. I'm Alice. I'm the training and events manager here at Tobii Dynavox. Basically what that means is that I provide training and support for anybody that uses our products, and that can range from kind of technical support, but more specifically to kind of implementation. So looking at how to use our products and get the best out of them and with the people that you're supporting. A bit of background, I'm a speech and language therapist. I have been with Tobii Dynavox for 6 years now, but prior to that, I worked as an NHS speech and language therapist. Just a little bit of a kind of summary of what we're going to cover today. I'm going to kind of show you quite a lot, but the aim today is just to kind of give you an overview. And so I'm not expecting you to kind of remember or maybe even fully kind of take on board everything that I'm showing you. The idea is that it gives you a bit of an idea of what we can do in terms of products and support, but the aim is kind of looking at how you can support communication within your setting. So what I will do at the end of today's session is you'll have my contact details, and if anybody wants to get in touch with us, if you want to know more or try some of the things that I've talked about today, then please do get in touch. As Neil said, please feel free to put any questions in the chat. What I will do is I'll save a bit of time at the end for questions. So yeah, just put them in there as and when they come to you, and if I get a chance, I'll answer them there and then. If not, I'll try and save a bit of time towards the end. So I'm going to start off with a couple of slides, but I will also, I'm going to go into kind of a live demonstration of a couple of bits of software, because I think sometimes a little bit more interesting than kind of death by PowerPoint. Okay, so just to start off with, I want to just kind of briefly mention some of the kind of more hardware products that we provide. So we have a range of different products to suit different needs, whether that's different access needs. So some of you may or may not be aware of some of our products, but just to give you a bit of a brief introduction, we've got a range of eye gaze products. So we've got the PCI, which is a peripheral eye tracker that can be plugged into a laptop or a tablet. The iMobile is a kind of solution around that. So we provide a Surface Pro and a bracket. And so this is an eye gaze based device. We have the iSeries, which is our flagship Windows device. So this is a purpose-built device specifically for eye gaze, and is packed full of really good features, including things like the ability to use eye tracking outdoors. There's a partner window on the back. It's really designed with communication in mind. And then the TD Pilot is basically our iOS version of that. So it's an eye gaze device that's based around an iPad. So as I said, if you want to know more about these, then please do get in touch. I don't want to focus too much on the hardware today, but just wanted to give you a brief overview. We also have devices that are suitable for touch and switch access. So again, we've got a couple of options. So we've got the SC Tablet and SC Tablet Mini, which are based around iPads. So the iPad, I think it's 10 point something inch, and then the iPad Mini. And then we have the TDI 110, which is our kind of Windows offering. And again, this is a robust kind of purpose-built communication device. So these are kind of some of the things to bear in mind when we're thinking about kind of what might best suit some of the needs of the people that we're supporting. But what I want to focus on a little bit more today is the actual kind of software content. So how we can use some of that to support communication within our settings. So, we've got 3 offerings that I want to kind of focus on a little bit today. And again, it's going to be a little bit whirlwindy, but hopefully the idea is just to give you a bit of a taster, really. So first, I'm going to introduce you to Boardmaker 7, which is a piece of software that allows us to make symbol-based resources. Then we're going to have a look at TD Snap, which is a symbol-based communication app. And then briefly at the end, I'm going to talk a little bit about TD Talk, which is a text-based communication app for iPad. So we're going to just get started with Boardmaker. And I just wanted to kind of give you a couple of examples of what we can kind of create using this piece of software. So the idea is that we're using symbols and images to create a range of different resources. So if we're looking at communication, it could be something as simple as single symbols, something to support switch access, it could be topic boards, it could be a more kind of robust communication book. We can even kind of go beyond that and look at things like visual supports. So whether it's kind of to support independence. And we've also got a range of resources that help with kind of participation in education as well. So what I thought I would do, the best way really, is to kind of show you it in action. So what I'm going to do is, I think I need to change my screen share to this one. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. So I'm actually just going to go ahead, and this is the Boardmaker 7 app. And so basically, this is the editor, and basically this is going to allow me to make a bunch of resources to support my users. There's a vast amount that you can do in here, but I'm going to show you some kind of basic ways that we can support communication and hopefully show you kind of the ease and how, most importantly, we can make kind of personalized resources. As we know, from one person to the next, their needs are going to be slightly different. So what we want to create for them and how we want to present that is going to look slightly different as well. So one of the kind of really great things about this piece of software is that you can basically make anything that you want and however you want to look it to look. But what we've done is we've created a big library of templates where you can basically just take a template and personalize it for the person that you want to support. So I'm going to quickly show you how we can make a couple of those. So I'm going to just go ahead and open a new activity. And this is what it would look like if you were creating something. So I'm going to load a template, and we've got hundreds of different templates available. Now in Boardmaker, you can make activities that, or sorry, resources that you can just print and use. So it might be that you want to make a communication book, print it and laminate it. But you can also actually make interactive activities. So something that you maybe are going to use on an iPad or an interactive whiteboard. But I'm going to show you how to make something printed just to begin with. So if I look at the printable templates here, there are literally hundreds of them. So what we've done is we've kind of put them into different categories to kind of help you find and search for what you're looking for, basically. So if I go into communication here, you'll see that we've got just some ready-made kind of different grid sizes, basically, so that we can kind of build whatever it is that we want to make. So let's say I want to make a quick topic board. You can see here that we've done a range of different sizes. So it might be that we just want a grid with just 4 symbols on it. We may want something with more content on it. So I'm just going to go ahead and select this one. So I'm going to go for a 3x3 and open that up. So it's already created all the buttons for me, so I don't have to worry too much about any of the formatting. All I need to do is kind of put the content in. So I'm just going to make a quick Valentine's Day topic board, since it's Valentine's today, which I just about remembered. So I'm in the good books today. And I'm going to go ahead and start putting some images in. So we know that symbols can support a wide range of different users, and this could be from kind of supporting understanding of communication, but also supporting that kind of expressive communication as well. So if I basically what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go ahead and type in some words. So I'm just going to keep it simple. So here I want to look for chocolates. If I hit enter, you can see here it's going to present me with loads of different symbols. Now, Boardmaker's got over 50,000 symbols at the moment, and they are continually growing. And we are constantly adding new content. And that is based on a number of different factors. It's either vocabulary or specific symbols that people have requested. We also work hard to make sure that we keep up with things like current affairs. So a good recent example of that is when the coronavirus happened and the pandemic happened. We made sure that we had plenty of symbols, not only to talk about coronavirus itself, but things like social distancing and wearing masks and hand washing. So making sure that we're kind of providing content that people can kind of interact with, kind of what's happening in the world around them, basically. So we've also kind of got different types of symbols. So here you'll see we've got this one for chocolate. If you notice where I've got chocolate cake, we've got a kind of funny red and green one here. This is actually a high contrast symbol. So we've got symbols that are specifically designed for those that have got a visual impairment. So we're using kind of bright neon colors designed to go on a black background. And so the idea is that we're providing different images that kind of support different people as well. So here I can see that just with the word chocolate, I've actually got 42 results. And what it's doing here is searching for anything that's got the word chocolate in it. So we've got chocolate pudding, hot chocolate, chocolate spread, a box of chocolates. So given that it's Valentine's, I'm going to go ahead and choose this symbol because that's pretty relevant here. I can also, I'm going to go for candles. Another thing that I can do within Boardmaker is, as opposed to just using the huge library of symbols we've got, there's going to be times where either we can't find a symbol for what it is that we're looking for, or it's going to be more appropriate to use a real image. You can actually bring in real photographs into this as well. So if I had a specific candle that I wanted to talk about on Valentine's Day, because I'm going to set up our Valentine's meal later, I can bring in a photograph from my computer. The other thing that I can do is I can bring in images from a web search. So if I just click on web up here, I can just go ahead and bring in something from a web search. So it really kind of helps with, there are going to be occasions when we maybe won't have the symbol for something you're looking for. Or the other really good example of using an image instead of a symbol is maybe to do things like to represent people or places. We might want to use an image instead of that. So there's kind of lots of different ways that we can kind of meet that need. So I can just kind of continue to go ahead and fill this in. Let's do a couple more. And as you can see, I'm literally just typing the word, hitting enter, and looking for the symbol that I want to use or the image that I want to use. So let's go for this one. Once I've kind of filled in this content, there's plenty of other things I can do to kind of make this look how I want it to. So I can actually do things like change the color of these buttons. So let's say, oops. Oops. I can do things like, okay, let's say it is Valentine's Day. So let's put a nice pink color on the back of these. Go, I can fill my buttons in. Oh, I did the background. I can change the font on my buttons. So if I want that font to be bigger, let's go for bigger size so you can see that. I can change the font color, so I'll change that into red. So I can really kind of adapt this to kind of suit the needs of the purpose of the activity or what maybe the person that I'm supporting needs really. So that's kind of a really quick example of how we can use symbols and create lots of different kind of resources using symbols and images. The way that Boardmaker works is that, of course, you can save your activities and share them with other people as well. So you can kind of create a kind of an array of different activities and share them with different people. Let me just show you a brief example of an interactive activity. Let's see if this one works. Let's go into here. This is another one that we made. So this is like a Six Nations activity that we made. And so this is an example of something that can be used more interactively on an iPad or an interactive whiteboard. So we've just created a thing here. So who do I support? I can come in, select England. Who's going to win the first game? Say France.
France.
Who's going to win the second game? Say
Ireland.
So there's really lots and lots that you can do. And I could talk to you about Boardmaker for hours, but I guess the purpose of this is just to kind of make you aware that this is available. We do offer free trials for Boardmaker. So if this is something that you would like to know more about, then at the end of today's session, I'll give you my email address. Drop me an email. We're starting a new trial process with Boardmaker where we'll give you a trial for at least a month. And I'm going to be doing some regular webinars that will teach you how to use the software so that you can get a really good kind of feel for it before you maybe kind of go ahead to decide to maybe purchase it. So yeah, please do let me know if it's something that you're interested in knowing a little bit more about. So that is Boardmaker. I now want to switch on to TD Snap. Hopefully you can see that. I'm not sure if...
Hasn't gone over yet, Alice.
It hasn't. Okay.
Just a short question there. Recently I had with some students that I was assessing, it came up that some of them would want some shopping lists.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that would work quite well for that, or would you choose something different to do then?
Absolutely. So I can show you some really good examples of that. You've got some nice templates that work really well with that. So yeah, shopping lists are a really good example. Things like another thing that can be really useful is for, especially if we're supporting a bit of independence, is kind of step-by-step instructions. So for things like cooking and stuff like that. So if I go into here, so we've got some nice examples here. Let me just get a nice template. So this would be a good one for a shopping list. I'm just going to show you a sample of this.
Just while you're setting that up, Alice, just if anyone else has anything they'd be interested in using this for, then just let us know in the chat or put your hands up.
Yeah, so here, for example, I could put in what it is that I want. Apples.
And we have had a question from Saeed about are Tobii Dynavox products suitable enough to be used with a user with communication needs as well as visual impairment? Are there any accessibility enhancements or other access methods for someone with sensory loss?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So yeah, that's exactly that. We've basically all of our products are designed to support people with multiple needs, whether it's kind of sensory loss or kind of access needs. So thinking specifically with Boardmaker and kind of symbol use, as I mentioned, we've got a range of high contrast symbols. So let me just see if I can show you. If I come here and show you a bit more of an example of those. Let's go in. Just enter. So let's do dog.
It's not sharing yet, Alice, just in case.
It's not.
Sorry, I didn't know if it was supposed to. Yeah,
it was supposed to be. Yeah, hang on.
Sorry.
I think I've sharing the wrong screen. Here we go. So yeah, so from a point of view of kind of visual impairments, we've got symbols specifically designed for people with visual difficulties. So they use a kind of simpler design to try and make sure there's not too much visual clutter. We use neon colors designed to go on a background as well. When it comes to other things, we can do things like put auditory cues onto some of our activities as well. So if we're thinking either in Boardmaker, but as well in Snap that I'm about to show you, you can actually put kind of auditory cues on there so that people can, it will basically do auditory scanning on the options. So there's plenty of ways that we can adapt our products and softwares to support people with sensory loss. Absolutely. I'm going to jump into Snap while I'm talking about that. I'm just aware of the time, so I'm going to try and.
Sorry to dive in.
No, it's great to have questions. It's great to have questions. So, moving on. So this is TD Snap. So this is a communication app. So again, this kind of ties in quite nicely to the questions. But if we're thinking about somebody that is maybe non-verbal or is looking at developing some communication skills, this is an app that we could introduce to them. So within TD Snap, there's quite a lot of there's lots of different options in terms of kind of layouts and how we can use this. So touching on what Saeed said, we can actually use this piece of software with lots of different access methods. So whether it's eye gaze, touch, switches, we can do things like use auditory scanning so that it will, if somebody can't kind of physically see all of the buttons on here, it will scan and speak out which each of the buttons are so that we can choose. We can do things like change the layout on here, so we could have more buttons on the page or less buttons on the page. We can change the contrast of the buttons. We can change the symbols that we're using. There's a really vast array of doing it, of changing this really. So the idea is that we can really personalize it for the person that we're supporting. But just to give you a really kind of brief idea of how this works, this is a specific page set called Core First, which uses some core vocabulary. So we can use symbols or words in isolation, or we can use them to build up sentences. So,
I like. Ice cream. I like ice cream.
So we can do this kind of word by word sentence building using core vocabulary and fringe vocabulary. This comes preset with loads and loads of language, but the idea is that this is, again, really customizable. So you can add in vocabulary that suits you, and it's really simple to do. So if I wanted to add in some vocabulary onto here, I can come in and within the edit mode, I can literally just type something in. So let's go bar. Now I can come in and choose my symbol. We don't have a symbol for Mars bar, so I can maybe change that to chocolate, and I can choose this. I can use photographs within here as well. So if I wanted to actually take a photograph of the Mars bar and have that in here, I could do that. So I can really personalize this to meet my needs. We've also got some kind of more phrase-based language built into this. So this is an example of some quick fires. So I can come in and just with the hit of a button do things like,
I'm hungry. I don't feel very well. Something is hurting me.
And again, a lot of this is preset, but we can
I don't like
customize
that.
this.
I'm angry.
We've then got some more kind of topic-based language. So, for example, if we were going on a trip to the cinema, we've got a page here that's going to have lots of different language, but all within the context of the cinema. So I can do things like ask questions.
What time is the film? Let's see a film.
Make some comments.
You can pick. This sounds good. That sounds bad.
So it's really quite a versatile piece of software, really, that we can do lots of different things with to support different people. I can see that I've got a couple of questions. What devices are compatible with the software being shown? So that's from Sean. So this piece of software, TD Snap, can go on Windows-based devices and iPads as well. Yeah, depending on what the person's using, it's compatible with both. And I've just had a question about how much does it cost, sorry. Can I download it onto an iPad that we already have, or would we need to purchase a device? Is there an option to trial this app? So brilliant questions. Absolutely, you can download it onto an iPad. The cost is just under £50. I think it's £48.99. Anyone can go and download it on an iPad, an existing iPad they've got. The only consideration is that obviously if you're wanting to use it, so if somebody wants to use it with eye gaze or with Switch, you're going to need to have a device that's compatible with that. But if you just want to go and try it out or use it with touch, then absolutely you can download it onto an iPad that you've already got. And we do have a free trial of this as well. So again, please do get in touch with me and I can help you set that up. Question from Hope, can you change the voice output settings? Yes. So you can go ahead and I'll just show you that briefly. If I go into here, voices. So I've currently got this set as Rosie, but I can go for an adult voice. There we go. And we've got plenty of different options. Let's try that now.
Let's see a film. Let's go see it again.
So you can kind of choose something that's kind of more appropriate. And there's male voices and female voices available there as well. I'm really conscious of time, Neil, so I'm going to jump back into my slides just to give a bit more information. Where are we?
That's great. Don't worry if you overrun a little bit, Alice. This is all
okay.
Useful and lots of questions, so that's really good.
Yeah, that's really good. So basically just what I wanted to kind of touch on to finish with is let's go through this. I've blasted through that, and there's a lot of information there for you guys. And it's I'm really pleased to hear that you've asked some really good questions. So what I want to offer kind of moving forward is if you want to know more about what I've talked about today, then please do get in touch. My contact details are here. Probably the best way to get in touch with me is an email. And what we can do is we can arrange a meeting with you. I can provide some further training. For those of you that are interested in trying either TD Snap or Boardmaker, I can set up some trials for you. I also run quite a regular program of webinars that touch on some of our products a little bit more detail. So you can find those details on our website. We also offer assessments for devices and free loans as well. So, for example, if you've got somebody that you're supporting that you think you would like to try with eye gaze or switch, and you want us to bring some of our devices so that we can trial some of this and some of our software, then we offer free assessment sessions where one of my colleagues will come out with their devices and they'll come and try some of this for you. So I know that's a lot of information that I've kind of given you today. One of the other things that I wanted to emphasize is that a huge part of my role is to make sure that people like yourselves are able to not only have access to these kind of options, so the software, but to be able to support you into making the most out of it. So if you decide that you want to try Boardmaker, then I'm here to provide that training and support that you need or any colleagues need to make sure that you get the most out of it. And as I said, if you sign up for a free trial, we can provide you with plenty of practice and time to explore both of these options in order to make sure that it's the right solution for you or for the people that you support. So I think that's everything that I wanted to cover, Neil. I am available if anybody's got any more questions. So if you want me to hang around for a bit longer, I'm happy to. I'm just aware that other people might need to head off.
Great, thanks, Alice. That was great. Just before everyone does head off, just want to mention that we do have another webinar next week from Alice. So Alice, would you mind just telling us what you're going to be covering next week on the whole independent side of things?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to be kind of looking at again how some of our products and some of the features and how they can support independence. So we're going to look at things like computer access, internet access, thinking a little bit about things like environmental control, so how people can control and access their environment. So we're going to be focusing a little bit more on that kind of side of the tech and how we can use that to our advantage as well.
Great, thanks, Alice.